The skill for any great agent is to really think about how you got to make it real. And what I want you to think is that when you're going to present an offer and you're going to take that forward to an owner, you've got to really think about how you're going to have that conversation. Now, some agents, and we've all made that rookie error, we get on the phone, we ring the owner and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, I want to let you know we've got an offer. And the next question is, how much? And the challenge with that is that there's no emotional context, there's no story, there's no urgency. And if it's not the right number, you're ultimately not even going to get the opportunity to be able to go and have the appointment. So how you got to set that appointment up is absolutely critical. Mr. and Mrs. Owner, we've had a development on the property. I will need to come and see you. What would be the best time this evening? Would 4 p.m. or 6 p.m. be better? And now when you go down there, how do you go to present that information in a compelling way? Mr. and Mrs. Owner, I've got to let you know that you're in a position today that 20 other sellers that I'm currently representing would love to be in. They're all working really hard to get in the position that you're in tonight. And that's ultimately that we've got a buyer that would love to buy your home. And you're actually in a position that you've actually got an offer to consider. My other 20 owners are all working towards the moment that you're in today. What you and I do together in how we go back to the buyer, in what we say, will determine whether or not we get to sold and whether or not we get to a position that we ultimately maximize sale price. That's why it's really important that we consider exactly where we're at. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, we've actually got two offers on the property. We've got buyer one and buyer two, and then you start the story. Now, what you then want to do is you want to lace that with the real understanding of why that particular buyer is urgent. This particular buyer, I feel, is prepared to pay more than anyone else because they really like the fact that there's no stairs. They like the high-span garage, the side access gateway, but they're also in a position that they're looking at Jones Street. And if we don't sell to them tonight, then my fear is that definitely they'll go and pursue Jones Street and they'll make a decision to buy there. So let's have a bit of a conversation about what we do, what we say to the buyer, how we go back to the buyer in order to be able to get them to pay more, but ultimately to put you in a position that you actually get to sold. And that's a really important conversation. What you've got to do is you've got to make these things real. Don't make it look too easy. Share with them the story of what you've done with the buyer, how you've actually worked with them over a period of time, or understand their urgency of why they're wanting to do a transaction today. And this is a really important conversation of what great agents really do. They think more about how they present information in a compelling way so that people can understand it, accept it, and then go and do something with it. And Mr. and Mrs. Owner, don't forget how we go and have that conversation is going to be really important. Is it your instruction that you want me to do this, or is it this? And the way that you go and have those conversations will make a massive difference as to whether or not the offer gets accepted and the property actually gets sold. The other conversation is to think about that when you're in situations that are sticky, don't bruise the client. And a great example of that is a multi-offer. If you've got a multi-offer situation, a couple of agents handle it in different ways. Sometimes they handle it by making sure that offer is put inside of an envelope and no one gets to see what the other offers are. Other people are in a position that they believe that ultimately you should be able to disclose the actual price that a buyer is paying to all parties so that everyone can decide on how much they'd like to pay. And those that are in a position that don't want to bruise any clients, just call a boardroom auction, bring both of the buyers there under the same set of terms and the same set of conditions, allow them to see each other at a convenient time, and then ultimately have an auctioneer call that particular auction so that everyone is really clear about the real competition that's in marketplace today and the property will ultimately be sold. That's how you make it real. You don't bruise people and you're actually in a position, you show the truth about what's actually happening during the course of property transactions.